Howdy TF2 gamers, this is Noobinator here. Hope you're all having a great day. This tutorial is for a beginning medic. This is not an easy class to learn, as some may allude to. This is 6th centric in this tutorial, and it's going to be UGC style for the most part. Most of the tips that you'll see here can be adapted to Highlander and other leagues as well. This is what my perception is, this is what works for me. Some may not agree, and that's fine. There's procedures and tactics in here. Maybe you do things a little bit differently and do what works for you in the end, but this could give you some ideas. Medic is often the main caller. He'll be calling out threats, opportunities, advantages, and pushes. I compare the medic to being an octopus, kind of like the players are tentacle tips. You got to keep all the arms healthy. They can sting with those tentacle tips. If one arm goes out and alone to fight another entire octopus, the encounter usually will not end good. So it's important that people don't overextend and go into battle on their own. It is your right as a medic to take all nearby medipacks. Good players will be aware that you need them and that they will get bust from you anyway. Buff, 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 and buff again. All players all around you. Don't concentrate and focus on one player. Just keep moving it around, and that way you give everybody more than standard health and they're ready to the fight. Once they're topped off, then go around to the other players. So what do you use for loadouts? I'll discuss the most popular ones all now. Minigun, that is the king. It makes you invulnerable. If you're taking in a demo or solely in an Uber, that's usually the team member of choice. You know, scouts don't have quite the firepower that the demo or the solely have. The next most common metagun is the Kritzkrieg. The trick in the Kritzkrieg is to surprise your adversary, or if you have an advantage, use it. It builds faster than the Uber. What you want to do is, before they can get the Uber, is take advantage and use your crits. Go on in. If they Uber and they counter to you, you might want to run. So if somebody's engaged, try to focus on them while they're engaged. The quick fix is currently banned in UGC, so I'm not going to cover that one in detail. You basically fly to the scene, you can go in, and it's a very fun weapon to use. Next metagun is the most complicated, that's the Vaccinator. The Vaccinator is not for beginners. If you're just learning med, I would not suggest using that. I'll talk more on this in the advanced video. It actually is a very powerful tool in spite of its critics. So what do you think the best melee weapon is? Hands down, it's the Ubersaw. As far as shooters, the Overdose, it's a very interesting option. It allows you to flee faster for an expedient egress if you get in trouble. I use this with my Vaccinator loadout to enhance survivability if you're dying too much. Then I sometimes will go to Vaccinator and Overdose combination. The rollout, you want everybody in spawn to duck except for the demo and roamer. That's part of the team dynamics, and everybody should know to do that right off the start. The standard is you concentrate and focus on the demo till they are gone and you can't touch them anymore. Then you go over to the 2 scouts, then the roamer, and then the pocket last. You catch up with them and tag them. If you have a very fast roamer, you may want to buff him before the scouts. The sniper and pyro, to me, they're on their own. The best shooter, it's the crossbow. During the transit to a war zone, if you're alone, you always want to have out the crossbow. You can have it out for defense, you can heal your teammates as you're coming in on scene at a distance, and you can make attacks from a distance if you're alone.
Time has been added.
So after you spawn and you're on your way back to the fight, you always want to give a player a buff and have them build for you, ideally a scout. Only use a crossbow when you're out of reach of any team members and you're alone. Don't become a combat medic. That is bad, and also you're doing your team a disservice. It deprives them of heals and it delays Uber building, and you lose an Uber advantage. When you're in a firefight, you want to stay behind the wall and keep yourself masked and keep your beam on the closest person that's actually engaged in the fight. Always keep your head in a swivel. In fact, that applies to any type of player in the game. Medics are huge targets, and you want to be prepared because you're always going to come under frequent attacks. Constantly do the bebop, dance to counter the snipers, long shots, or spy attacks from behind. You just never know what threat is out there. There is a lot of action for Med. It's not a boring, nor is it easy, as some proclaim. These are some of the basics I use. Part 2 will cover more of the advanced material, and see you there. Have a great day.
Danke, Dummkopfs.